Well, now, Emily Giffin has been called the modern-day Jane Austen. With 6 New York Times best-selling novels under her belt, the girl-friendly storyteller is back with what's being called by many the summer's must-read book.
So let's talk about it. Emily Giffin is joining us on the couch this morning to talk about it. You look lovely, by the way.
Gorgeous.
Your eyes really pop.
A little bit of a mascara crisis right before we came on. But you did.
No, we
Thank
did.
you.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it. Okay.
Absolutely.
What's one and only about it? Football?
The one and only is it explores unconventional love. So sort of, you know, I think a lot of us expect our lives to look a certain way and our relationships to be a certain way. But what if you fell in love with the one person you shouldn't? Or what if you want something that isn't necessarily right on paper, perfect on paper, what society or your family wants for you? But it is set in the world of football, so
yeah, but
it was a little bit of a twist.
I was going to say, you're known for your girl-friendly books, and
sure,
you know, did you grow up in a town that had like that football, you know, action?
Well, I love college sports. I've always been a big fan of college sports, and I think a lot of people, a lot of women enjoy sports. But I think it was just such a rich backdrop and terrain to explore these relationships, because with sports, beyond the game, beyond the actual football component of it, you have these intense relationships and loyalty and this commitment to a greater goal that really, you know, brings people from diverse backgrounds together within the team unit. So, yeah, and Shay, my 34-year-old protagonist, is very football obsessed. She is.
Well, not to be, you know, punny or cheeky, you tackle some difficult subjects in this, too.
Well, yes, you know, the whole idea of falling in love with someone you shouldn't, and the complex, you know, female friendships. You know, I think female friendship is such an interesting thing to explore, because, you know, it can be really challenging, but friendships are, you know, worth it in the end. So
yeah, but there are rich friendships that always come out in your books, and there's so many layers to the characters that you write about. And so, what was your inspiration for the book?
You know, really this idea of, you know, loyalty to yourself versus, you know, what you owe others, and how it sometimes can come into conflict. So there's, you know, the two best friends, Shay and Lucy, very different women, kind of at different points in their life. And, you know, Shay falls in love with someone that's a little bit in conflict with what Lucy wants for her. So, yeah.
Are these people somebody you know? I mean, do you base your characters on friends, and can they find themselves in your book, and have you ever been sued?
No, I've not been sued yet. No, but I think you always base it on people, you know. Coach Carr in the book is the head football coach, and he's this larger-than-life figure, you know, sort of up on a pedestal, a little bit viewed as a god in this, you know, football-obsessed town. And I think we all know people like that, whether in the world of sports. I've been around a lot of, you know, big coaches. Coach Jim Boeheim of Syracuse is a good friend of mine, helped with the book. But he could be a CEO. You know, he could be your boss. He could just be that larger-than-life figure.
A type more than a specific person.
I would say, but the football works so well with it, and it was so fun. I went down to SMU and hung out with the team and went to spring spring practices, and so it was fun to imbue the story with that.
Well, I want to ask you about the process then.
Right.
How was this different than the other books? If you are doing the traveling and I mean, you're actually out on the field. How was this different than the other books you've had such success with?
I think that all the books require a certain amount of research. This one was just research that in Dallas that involved a lot of guacamole, because I had to know, like, you know, where to get the good, you know, margaritas and guacamole, and a little football. So that's always fun.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, Texas research worked out well for me. Awesome. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So.
Well, we hear you have some movie news to share with us, and that Kate Hudson, John Krasinski are involved. I adore John Krasinski. I think he's like the best.
Yeah. He's so great in real life, too.
Oh, really?
He's so smart, and he's very smart. He helped a lot with the rewriting of the script and the various drafts. In fact, he saw, so Something Borrowed was my first book turned into a movie, and Something Blue, the sequel, is happening, and I'm writing the script now, and I'm very excited. But he saw a tweet that I was going to LA, and he's like, oh, it's finally happening. So it is happening. But the one and only, I think, is going to make the best movie of all of them.
I
really do.
In this point, Are you already talking to studios about it, or is that already a done deal?
Yeah, you know, that film agent is, you know, kind of has some ideas and so forth.
Well, now as a veteran,
I just think about George Clooney a lot.
Oh,
when I
mean, who doesn't?
I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Are you thinking about the movie when you're writing the book?
You know, I almost never do, but as I said, this time I had George Clooney on my mind a lot as I wrote the book.
Wow.
I think he would just be such a great Coach Carr.
Well, I have a million questions to ask you, and we have to go. But wait, okay, really quick before we go. Writing a screenplay versus writing an actual book.
Sure.
Which one's harder?
Oh, they're just so different. I love dialogue in my books, and so it's a lot of dialogue heavy with the screenplay, but scripts are more collaborative because you know people are going to tear it apart in a way that your editor might not as much, but I love both. But I can't wait for people to read this book because I think it's a little different, and I think men will enjoy it too. Will you read it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, if I can tear it away from all the women in my life.
we were like, no,
my daughter
people were
reads
trying to clean them.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody
we'll
wants
send you a few more over.
Thank you so much. What are you going to read this summer? Anything interesting?
Oh, let's see. Amy Bloom has a new book out. I'm excited about that one, okay. Lucky Us. So that comes out in July, and I'm reading Jane Green's book too, Tempting Fate. So
look at you.
I mean, have any time.
We adore you.
Emily.
And thank you for the mascara.
Oh, anytime.
That I put on right behind them.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with us. And you can meet Emily and get your own copy of The One and Only today from 12:30 to 1:45 at Word for Word in Bryant Park. How convenient. And tonight at 7 p.m. at Book Review in Huntington. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Great to be here.
Thank you. Wow.